What's good, YouTube? So on today's video, I'm gonna show you guys how to do a budget bed delete. So I got a few upgrades that I'm gonna be installing. I did get a RPM intercooler that I'm gonna install, and I got this idea from a friend of mine. He did it to his Can-Am, and it turned out pretty good to where I want to do it now. So I have it marked out here. He actually marked it out for me. So this is how we're gonna do a bed delete. This is your budget bed delete, and I'll show you guys the process and how it'll turn out. I will be removing these here, but these are pretty easy. It's gonna be different than your Can-Am because you'll have the plastic one, but this one only holds with 2 screws, one up here, one down there. Again, you're not gonna have this one. You're gonna have the one that has all these extra screws here, but that one's pretty easy to remove. In order to cut this while it sits here in the bed, I do have to get some screws off of it. That way it loosens up, because it's held on with this metal bracket, and here in the cage area. We're gonna be using an oscillating tool, one of these, to make the cuts. I did a test run here, and so far it looked pretty clean. So I'll get this all cut, and I'll probably put it on a hyperlapse just so it's not too long of a video. But let me start unbolting the bed. As you can see, most of these are pretty visible screws. It's this one here. They're gonna be the T30s. Here, down there, some here on the side, and I believe down here. Let me show you guys real quick. So I unbolted this one here and the one on the end to get this bar out of the way. So you can see it's coming off. I just have to fully unbolt them. Those are a size, I'm using a half, so I believe a 13 might work if you don't have a half. So yeah, let me remove that bar. That way we can start cutting. So I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of how I start, and then I'll throw it on a hyperlapse. But pretty much we got a start off line here, and we'll just follow our guideline all the way to this point. Just watch out, make sure you don't hit any wires, but luckily this one you don't have to worry so much about it, but still be careful. So you could always mark your guide and go a little under, and then you could always come back and clean it up. But I'm gonna get some safety glasses. The angle in which I'm in due to the camera stance makes me get a little too close to my eyes. Alright, let's try this again. So I passed my razor blade through almost everything, and what's holding it in place at the moment is this part right here. So I'll have to cut here just so it releases, and we'll see how we clear that up afterwards. So let me get to that and I'll show you guys. So all I did was cut here straight up and it connected to that, and check this out. It's all loose, so it should pop right off. Actually, let me remove this cover here. Let's see if this comes out. And it does. Bam! Budget bed delete. So from here, now it's cleanup time. I gotta find a way to clean all this up, all these cuts, and make it look pretty, or as pretty as it can get. But if you can see, look at this. It's really stiff. That's what I liked about it. It doesn't dangle. It keeps all your housing for your tail lights. Plastic, like I'm pushing on this and it's barely even moving, so it's not gonna be flapping around or anything. So pretty well held. Exhaust, we need to get something different, clear this up. And I still don't know how I'm gonna approach this side, if we're gonna fully delete this plastic or not. For the intercooler that I got, I don't even know how I'm gonna mount it at the moment, because it doesn't have a bracket to hold on. Or more to come on how we put in that intercooler if we decide to delete this plastic. But let me clean this up, and then let me try a few things and see what looks best, and then I'll show you guys what I did. Alright, so this part's really gonna depend on how picky you are. I did use my razor blade to kind of take the big chunks off. Just be careful, because you don't want that to slip. And then I also use my Dremel with this little grinding or sandpaper thingy, just to kind of even out the lines. And it didn't leave it smooth. So then what I used was, I tried different sandpapers, and right now I'm using this little piece as a trial. 220 or 225 maybe. I need to find where I had it laying around and I just picked it up, and that's what I've been using so far. It's looking pretty smooth. Let me see if we can focus on here. So I can run my finger here. It feels pretty smooth. I can hit it a little bit more with the sandpaper and get it a little smoother. So far I've gotten up to around here. This is what it looks like with when I hit it with the Dremel tool. Kind of scratches it up, but it leaves it nice and straight. And then I just hit it with the sandpaper to make it a little smoother. And I could probably go lower on the grit to make it even more smoother. But it really depends how much time you want to spend on it. If you ask me, once I clean this up, put a little bit of shine to it, it's gonna look pretty. But for other people, this may not be the route. This is how you save on a bed delete. You can thank me later. If you looked around or shopped around, the bed deletes are not that cheap for what they are. So for now, this is the route. And I'm gonna be removing the exhaust here because I want to get in here and clean this out. a little bit. But yeah, stay tuned. I'm gonna finish up both sides with the razor blade. I took out all these chunks, then I ran the Dremel and then the sandpaper, and I'll show you guys the end result once I get to it. But I'm doing a bed delete, and I've said it on my old videos before, but for all the new viewers, I have a little tip for you guys. If you've ever had to build a trampoline, it will come with this tool, and this tool is actually really good to remove these exhaust springs. The actual tool is similar to this that they sell, but you don't have to buy it if you have this one around. I had it laying around in the garage, and it's been with me for years now. But it's just a hand hook, and it makes these springs removal a lot easier. So I'm gonna be removing the exhaust, and since I was at it, I thought I'd show you guys that part. It does hold on with 4 screws, 2 on each side, and then those 4 hooks. So I'm gonna be removing those so I can expose all this part. I will be adding new spark plugs and a billet fuel rail. So that's the reason for this. I'm still working on a bed delete here. But yeah, quick little tip for you guys. So this is as far as I got. This is how the bed delete turned out. I'm not sure. You can see that kind of focused a little bit. Let's go on this side. So this is the 2-piece layer here. That's why it kind of looks like that. I could sand a little bit more in this area. In this area here. But that's as good as I did it. Everything else looks alright. The camera picks up a little bit more, but this area I could sand more. But overall I'm fine with the turnout. If I was to recondition the plastics a little bit more, it'd look a lot better as well. So that's a budget bed delete. Let me know what you guys think. I still have more things to do, but they'll be for another video. I do have the RPM intercooler going in next, so we should have easy access for that. All right, see you guys on the next one.